Hey there guys, aarava here, bringing you part 2 of my F1 2014 career modes, and we're here in a very soaked Malaysia. But before we start off the episode, if you're new around here, do click subscribe for more F1 2014 career mode, and I've uploaded part 1 an hour earlier than this to part 2, so you may have missed it in your sub box, so do go click my channel name below and you will see part 1, and you can go watch that before you watch part 2 here in Malaysia. Part 1, quite a shock to the system in terms of the pace we had around Australia, hoping for better, but as I just said, it's a soaked Malaysia. We've got 100% chance of rain in the practice session and in the race, so we're actually going to have to use practice quite a bit to try and find a wet setup. I'm not going to go for a dry setup and try and do a good qualifying. I'm going to go for a wet setup, think about the race, and go from there. And also at the same time in the practice session, we've also got to do this R&D objective to try and get better tyre wear. So we've got to do 3 laps and try not to wear our tyres out too much. The target is 21% of wear. At the moment, you can see on screen right now, we're finishing the 3rd lap and we've only got 7 to 7.1% of wear. So we did really well in this R&D test, passed it with flying colours, and now we're just using the rest of the practice session to fine-tune a wet setup for the race. I'm not too sure if wet setups completely work on this game yet. You know, in the past, you didn't need a wet setup. On 2013, you could do fine with a dry setup, but generally at the moment, I'm feeling in practice, you know, a wet setup is kind of going to benefit me against AI. And in the practice session, when it finished, we came up in 4th place against the Legend AI. So pretty good, you must say, comparing it to the Australia pace where we finished, you know, quite low there in Australia. I'm not going to spoil the result if no one's seen it yet. If you haven't, do go check out part 1. But 4th place, not too bad in practice. And as you can see, we've cut straight onto qualifying, and this is the results from Q1, and we've just about made it into Q2. 15th place, 1.7 off the fastest session, but obviously we qualified on the prime tyres in Q1, so good that we saved some tyres, although we don't need to really save any, though, saying that, because it is a wet race, so I don't know why we really went on to the primes. We could have just gone on options, but now we're cut on to Q2, and we're going on to our flying lap on Q2. We've already set a time in Q2, and we're only 12th place at the moment, so this is our final lap in Q2. We really need to make it count on these option tyres, because at the moment we're in the drop zone, P12. We won't make it into Q3, the top 10, with this time so far, so we really need to improve on this lap, or this is our last flying lap in Q2. So we've gone quite well through the first 2 corners. I took turn 1 much better because I took it in 3rd gear this time. The first time round I took it in 2nd gear, just a bit too slow through the first turn, and coming up to the sector time we've actually improved on sector 1, so let's cut later onto the lap and see hopefully the end of the lap. Hopefully we've improved to get ourselves into Q3. This will be great because remember, we've got the wet setup on for the race, so this will be amazing if we can get into Q3 because we're running 1111 wings, you know, all the kind of parameters to kind of give traction in the wet. So really this would be a great thing if we get into Q3 on a completely wet setup here. So we're coming through the final corner now, down into 2nd gear, kissing the apex, just about missed it a tiny bit, and now going wide to get the best traction, opening DRS. Here we go towards the line. Can we get into Q3? No. Wow, no, we haven't gone to Q3. P12 is the best we can manage. Sergio Perez in P11, Kevin Magnussen in the last of that top 10. So no, we have not gone to Q3. We're going to start 12th for the race, but remember, we've got a full wet race set up on, so that should help us for the race. So here's hoping we can get a good start for the race time, but obviously the 2 Mercs locked out pole position and the 2nd place on the grid. And now as we cut on to the start of the race, intermediate tyres. Straight away, very alarming. This could go very bad for us or very good, because at the moment my setup is for full wet tyres. You know, obviously practice was on full wet tyres, so I made the setup on that. So intermediates, I'm not too sure how that's going to work. I don't know if the 1111 wings will hinder us or they may help us for traction. We'll have to see how it goes, but it's a 100% chance of rain, so I'm going to guess at some point it's going to get to full wet from these intermediate tyres. So it's going to go from intermediate conditions to full wet, hopefully. That he's hoping. So here are the 2 Mercs locking out the front row, and Felipe Massa in 3rd place, surprisingly, from qualifying. So obviously he's running a bit of a lower downforce setup in the dry. I think pretty much all the AI ran a dry setup for qualifying, so I'm very counterintuitive to them. So here we go, 5 red lights for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Here we go, 28 laps. Can we do anything with this wet setup? And off we go, and we're actually getting okay traction. Looks like people behind us are bogging down as much as we are. Looks like Magnussen's struggling quite a bit as Perez has jumped him up to 10th place. Let's see what we can do. We're going to get obviously a lot more downforce than these AI, who I believe are running all dry setups. So as we come through turn 1, look at the amount of grip we've got through turn 1. We're just going up to 5th, easy does it, up to 4th place indeed. Alonso on the right struggling as well, and we're up to 4th place, easy does it, and just getting a tiny bit of snap of oversteer there, but up to 4th place pretty damn easily from 12th place. So it looks like this wet setup is working an absolute treat for us at the moment on lap 1. Alonso tries to go down the inside, but we've covered that off. We're up to 4th place comfortably. So it looks like this wet setup was the way to go. And if we can manage to stay in 4th place, this will be awesome compared to the Australia result. I'm going to spoil it now because it has been a fair few minutes into the video. Obviously, we've got P9 at Australia, so P4 would be amazing compared to P9. So, you know, here's hoping. On lap 4, here we come. Alonso's right behind us. Vettel has streaked off into the distance with the other 2 Mercedes. The tyre wear is not too bad at the moment. We will have to pit around lap 6 or 7, but Alonso's right behind us as well, so we'll have to be wary of him and the slipstream he could get. Now, going on to through the hairpin onto lap 5, and Alonso's right behind us. Yellow flags. There's a car up there. It's a Hamilton. Hamilton is crashed. Hamilton's smashed it into the wall. He was sort of sideways into the wall. Alonso's trying to overtake us though. We've got to look at Alonso. He's trying to go around the outside. Looks like he's going to do the switchback on us. We're looking around. Where is Alonso at the moment? He's in our mirrors on the right hand side. We're just going to keep tight on that second corner, and we're still in 3rd place now, up to 3rd, as Hamilton crashed into the wall. Looks like he parked it, and looks like he was sort of beached into the wall. Maybe he smashed his front wing off. I don't know what on earth went on there, but Hamilton somehow got tangled. Maybe he tangled with Rosberg. Safety car has been deployed. So looks like it's very serious stuff for Hamilton. So we're going to take this time to look back at it in slow-mo while we have the safety car. And here it is. Hamilton just parked sideways into the wall. I don't even think his front wing's off. I don't know what got on there. Maybe he had a tangle with Nico Rosberg, his teammate. Obviously, the two big feud in the championship in real life. Maybe they did that in Malaysia here. Maybe they were tangling on the straight, and it caused Hamilton to spin into the wall. So Hamilton's out of the Grand Prix, so that will work amazing for Rosberg, because obviously Rosberg went out of the Grand Prix in Australia last round. So we're up to 3rd place now. Safety car is out, and we're going on to the second lap of the safety car. But I've decided, you know what? I think it's worth pitting right now. We're going to peel into the pits. Going to go into the intermediates, because I was going to pit anyway on lap 7 for intermediate tyres, but look at the mini-map, all the AI really not bunched up fully yet. So I'm going to the pits, I'm going to go into the second set of intermediate tyres. Yes, we will come out pretty damn low, but the AI haven't pit yet, so they're going to have to pit as well. So the safety car will bunch us all up. So theoretically, I'll be a lot closer to the front runners when they pit to me, to them when I'm pitting. So I know that wasn't the best wording, but if you know what I mean, this should mean that we jump a lot of the AI. We could even jump into 1st place here if Rosberg and Vettel pit straight after the safety car. So here we go, onto lap 7. The safety car is in this lap. We're in P16 behind Max Chilton, but remember, all the AI, all 15 have to pit ahead of us, and we're right here. Look how close we are. Look at it. Look at the stream of AI that have gone to the pits right now. Look at it as they came out. Half of the AI in front of me have gone to the pits. The other half will obviously go into the pits on lap 8, and now we're up to Rich Mix. We're going to try and overtake Max Chilton, and we're going through. We're already up to P8 right at the moment. We're slipstream Chilton. We may get P7 as well, and maybe P6. Gutierrez going very slowly, going wide, and we're going on the apex there, kissing the apex, and now we're on up to P6. And look, the AI are only there on the minimap, so they'll have to pit as well. So we will be into P1 theoretically. We will be into P1. We will be leading this race, which would be absolutely amazing. Crazy race so far. Hamilton crashing. Great start, at the beginning on lap 1, and we could get into P1. Here we go. Let's test the theory. Yes, all of them going to the pits. This has worked out an absolute treat, and we're up to P1. Theoretically, it should be. Here we come. Let's just clarify. And yes, there we go. We're into P1 at the moment in this race. This has worked out an absolute treat for us on lap 9 here. So obviously that strategy worked really great for us, and eventually it will get to full wet, because at the moment On to lap 13. Rosberg is catching me, obviously, and now he's in the slipstream. He's going to try and go down out inside. He's already made his pit stop, remember, so this is for position, and Rosberg has got us. We can't do much about Rosberg. We're trying to come back at him, trying to maybe get a slipstream onto the back straight, but no, don't get the traction off the hairpin. Rosberg bolts away. Our tyre wear on the rear is getting quite bad, so Rosberg's up in first place. So, obviously, I was very happy about getting into P1, but realistically, we're just trying to get a podium. So us doing that strategy, getting to P1, has helped us massively try to get a podium, because Rosberg's in P1 at the moment, we're P2, and this should work out well. We should maybe try and get P2 or P3 at least, even if Vettel catches us. But as you can see on the minimap, Rosberg and Vettel have come back into the pit, so I'm staying out because my engineers actually told me that the wet tyres will be needed in a few laps time. So what is the point of pitting right now? I know the Inters are wearing out quite badly, you can see on the graphic on the right, but what's the point of pitting now? We're going to stay out a few laps, because literally a lap and a bit later, onto the end of lap 16, you can see I'm struggling quite a lot. Now that may be because of the tyre wear, but as you can see on the right hand side, those rear tyres don't look green exactly, they're sort of turquoise, so that means it's getting a bit too cold for the intermediate tyres and it's time for the full wet. So I'm in P1, I'm going to pit onto the wet tyres. Rosberg and Vettel are on the Inters as well, so they're going to have to pit as well, so we're going to stay in P1 here. So yet again, we've done two good moves here this race in terms of the strategy. First one was pitting early for the Inters, and now staying out and pitting later for the wet tyres, skipping a whole set of Inters like Rosberg and Vettel have done. Here we come into the pits now, and we're now into the wet tyres. Looks like Rosberg is, looks like actually Rosberg's going ahead. Yeah, Rosberg's going ahead, so I don't know what the hell he's doing, bit of an idiot. Rosberg is going ahead on the intermediate tyres, so he's going to really struggle, and I'm going to definitely overtake him for first place. And Vettel as well, Vettel's gone ahead as well, so both Vettel and Rosberg making a mistake, I think. They're not going to the wets right now, I am, and we should get into first place now with this, because they'll be struggling by the end of the lap for sure on those intermediate tyres like I was. So now we come out in P3 comfortably, but as I said, we should make it P1, because Rosberg and Vettel, they're on the intermediates. I was already struggling on lap 16 with the intermediates in these wet conditions. They're definitely going to struggle on this next lap, so we should get into P1. And as we cut onto the next lap, on the end of lap 17, you can see on the mini-app just about, they're in the pits right now. They're going to the full wets. As you can see on the clouds and the rain on our screen, definitely is full wet tyres at the moment. As we come through now, down the straight, going up to Rich Mix just to make sure we get the speed down the straight. You can see there is Vettel, and then there is Rosberg on the left on the mini-map. And here we come, if we look on the right of our screen, there is Rosberg. We've just gone past him. We're into P1. So here's hoping we can hold it on, but as I said, the AI do have the pace over me in the wet. Rosberg caught me 2 seconds a lap in the intermediate conditions, so I don't think we'll be able to stay in P1. Look how close Rosberg is already. And as we cut onto lap 28, the last lap of the Grand Prix, as you can clearly see, we're in P2. Vettel has overtaken us. It was a simple DRS move, that's why I didn't show you it. Vettel's overtaken us, but we're in second place at the moment. Alonso's third. Rosberg is fourth at the moment. It's the last lap of the Grand Prix, and we could come home for second place, which would mean an epic 18 points compared to the 2 we only got at Australia. So we're trying to fend off Alonso. He's really got the pace on me. As I said before, just before, you know, the AI do have the pace on me in the wet. I've only been able to get up to P2 purely because of the strategy calls I've made. If it was on pace and I made the exact same pit stops as the AI, I probably would have been down in, you know, at least, you know, maybe 5th or 6th. After the mega start we got, but we're up to P2 because of the great strategy we've worked this race. Alonso's going to try and overtake us. We're going to have to defend. This might have to be a very tricky situation. Alonso trying to get us. Can the AI get us on traction? Looks like not, so we're going to come home for second place. Vettel has won the race, but I don't care. We've come home in second place there. First podium of the career mode, and first mega points haul in the Williams here in career mode. Awesome stuff there. That has been an absolute masterclass in strategy calls. We made 2 brilliant strategy calls on the Inters and the wets to get second place. That's 18 points in the bag. We'll be on 20 points in total. That's really good stuff. Vettel's won the race. Rosberg at home in 3rd. Hülkenberg in 4th. Alonso dropped down to 5th from 3rd in one corner there at the end. And Hamilton obviously crashed out at the beginning, so he's got no points in the championship. But that will be quite interesting for the title fight between Vettel, Rosberg and Hamilton, what it looks like at the moment. But we also jumped up to 6th place in the championship, 20 points up ahead. We're actually above Nico Rosberg, because obviously Rosberg didn't score any points in Australia, so he's got 15. So we're actually ahead of Rosberg, and also this points haul has meant that we've jumped Williams up to 4th place, so really good race for us. Massa also got some points, I believe, and I think he was in 8th or 7th place, so good points haul for Williams. If you guys did enjoy that video, then do give it a like, comment below on what you thought. I thought that was an absolute great race, great strategy calls to get 2nd place, awesome result. Great stuff for Malaysia compared to Australia. So again, if you guys did enjoy that race, do give it a like, favourite it if you will, comment below if you enjoyed that race, subscribe if you're new for weekly F1, subscribe if you're new for more F1 2014 career mode. I'll try my best to get part 3 up tomorrow, but I hope you guys enjoyed part 1 and part 2 today within 2 hour spans. I've been aarava, hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll see you guys next time, and I'll leave you with the final celebration.